Hi, welcome to Reach for Healing. I'm Rebecca, and I'm really excited to be bringing you this mini masterclass number 2. This is focused on debt reduction and elimination. It's a topic that many people are interested in, and it's something that we can all use. It's a skill set we can all use. This mini masterclass is actually a 3-class class, and so let's get started with class number 1 on debt reduction and elimination. I like to use slides when we're doing a class on debt reduction because when you're talking about financial things, it's sometimes a little easier to have a visual aid when you're talking about numbers and organizing things like that. So this is Eliminate Your Debt, mini master class number 2, and it's available, of course, on my YouTube channel, Reach for Healing. This is a channel dedicated to solving 21st century problems using the principles that have been taught from ancient days up through today on how to use spiritual truth principles to solve everyday issues. And this mini masterclass series that I'm putting out is focused on just that goal. My first mini masterclass was about gratitude journaling, and I talked about how I used a 25-cent mini notebook from the dollar store to turn around a difficult time in my life. And I talk about that in that mini masterclass number 1. So if you haven't seen that, you might want to give it a quick watch. Like all of my suggested practices, I talk about how I've used these principles and methods and what they've done in my life. So let's get on to the mini masterclass number 2 and getting rid of our debt. A lot of us have more debt than we wish. And if we're doing a lot of self-work and we're working on our health and our wellness and our forgiveness and our gratitude, but we still have a lot of debt, it can feel like we're not making a lot of progress. It can even feel like that debt is never going to go away, like we're never going to get out from under it. So it can be very problematic. The process that I'm going to teach you is the use of spiritual metaphysical principles to get rid of your debt. But I am not going to teach you how to declare bankruptcy. I'm not going to recommend that you default on anything. I believe that you pay all creditors always, because energetically, it's a negative on us if we try to weasel out of something that we really own. And if we've borrowed money, if we've ran up credit cards to purchase things, we own that debt. And so it's ours to pay. This is a full responsibility process. And you may notice that there's a little asterisk that says non-mortgage car payment debt. And I'll explain that in just a minute. Hopefully you're ready to learn the secret of debt reduction and elimination using spiritual truth principles. The first step isn't going to sound very ancient spiritual truth principle, but it's a reality. You have to do a very physical and mundane thing. You're going to have to inventory your current outstanding debts. I use a spreadsheet in Excel. You can use Google Sheets. You can use a piece of paper and a pencil. It doesn't really matter. But you're going to write down every single solitary debt that you have and the total amount that you owe and the amount you pay monthly. I've put a sample here to give you an example, a visual. You want to list these in descending order. So you want to put at the very top the one that you owe the most to, and then in descending order down from there. Notice that I said before that I didn't want to include house and car payments. So when you're making your list, leave your mortgage off and leave your car payment off. And I leave those off because when we're first jumping into the debt reduction thing, we're already overwhelmed. And to throw in the big debt that is a mortgage or the big debt that is a car right off the top kind of sets us up for failure, for disappointment, for kind of not believing that this is possible. So we're going to set that aside for now. By all means, if you get to be a rock star on this, come back and have at the house mortgage payment and the car payment. But for now, we're going to leave those out. I also consider those to be typical life costs. And if I had all my other debt cleared out, paying my house payment and my car payment would be no issue at all. And I think many of you are like that as well. Home equity loans, however, if you have a home equity loan, you will want to add that to your debt reduction inventory. I think I've covered the why. I don't think going into this first out that we need to jump into trying to tackle the mortgage in the car. So if you have other questions, you can leave it in the comments and I'll be glad to answer. So our first step was doing that inventory. Our second step is to evaluate our circumstances. Now, everybody has a different set of circumstances in their life. Each one of us is unique. I want you to make a list of any potential additional income that might be coming into your life or that could possibly come into your life. Now, I've listed 5 here, but there are many, many, many more opportunities. Certainly bonuses and pay raises at work might be forthcoming. Write those down. Maybe a tax refund that's on its way. Or maybe somebody owes you money and you had forgotten about it and they're going to pay you back. I like to talk about the side hustle because almost everybody I know has a side hustle or a side job, something they do on the side to make extra money. If you don't have one, you might want to open yourself to the possibility and maybe jot down some notes on what some things are, what are some of the things that you might like to do that could translate into a side hustle. I don't want you to get really active and put anything in motion right now. I just want you to be thinking about what are the many opportunities out there in the world for money and financial support to come your way. Step 3 is to identify now the easiest payoff in that list of your debts. Oftentimes, this is going to be the smallest step. So like in this example that we have here, the bank loan, the personal loan of $500. That might be the easiest, but don't just assume that it is. The easiest debt to pay off might be something else, like the example I have here. Let's say that you know you're getting a tax refund of $1,200. Well, you've got a store credit card of $1,100. You can easily pay that off with your $1,200 tax refund and apply another $100 to your bank loan. That's going to make you feel stronger, more empowered, certainly more capable than you did before. And it's going to really kickstart this process for you. So depending on what's going on in your circumstances, which you identified in step number 2, take a look at which of these debts on your line items there will be the easiest for you to pay off first. Now, you're just going to prepare, relax, and know that this is all going to work out. You're going to get your physical ducks in a row. And by the physical ducks, I mean you're going to do that spreadsheet. You're going to make that list. You're going to do an inventory of what options you have to bring more income or financial support into your life. And you're going to spend some time paying attention to why you spend money, where you spend money, when you spend money. Are you doing any of that mindlessly? Ponder the possibilities, both in not spending as much money and also in perhaps attracting more opportunities to bring money and financial support into your life. I'd like you to let go of any kind of worry because I can tell you from my own experience, everything is going to be okay. It might not work out the way that you think it will, but it will work out. And it's really important in this first phase, this class 1 homework, that you don't jump right in and try to start fixing things. This is a time of allowing and setting yourself up to be receptive and open to learning some new things and perhaps pondering some new things. So just to recap, you've got homework to do before class 2. You're going to inventory all your debts. You're going to sort them in reverse order with the biggest one at the top and the smallest one at the bottom. You're going to evaluate the opportunities that may be right in front of you for income or financial support. And remember, just stay open. You're just evaluating. And number 3, you're going to identify that easiest debt to pay off. Might be the lowest one, might be another one based on what could be coming in. I hope you'll come back for class number 2. We're going to dig into what Neville Goddard taught when he was around. He taught that feeling, really deep feeling, was one of the most important spiritual tools that we could use. So I hope you come back for that one. That's it for class number 1 in this mini master class 2 on debt reduction and elimination. I hope you'll subscribe to the channel, like this video, and be sure you look for class number 2. It's coming soon. Until next time.